347 of Talks with Carly. Today we have some breaking news, and it's that I haven't sat down and talked with you guys yet. So technically it's day one. Just kidding. I think I'm so funny. I know I'm not. You don't have to laugh. It's fine. Anyways, stop it. I realized that I don't actually ever sit down and talk with you guys. Like, I do, but it's during a vlog, so it's basically about that day. But I feel like you guys don't know a lot about me unless you listen to my podcast or follow me on Instagram, because podcasts, you know me. Instagram, you wish you didn't know me, right? So I haven't really introduced myself on YouTube, so I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna move this chair away from you so Romeo can get on his chair and not knock you over, hopefully. So I wanted to start off. I have my little list of some things that I thought about and some things that you guys told me on my Instagram story. So it's not really a Q&A, but it's kind of like a who am I? So not a Q&A, but who am I? So I want to start off with just like introducing myself. Basically, anyways, I don't know why I was saying basically, but I want to start off. My name is Carly. If you don't already know, if this is your first video you're seeing of me, hello guys, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Even if I don't know you, I love the support you're giving me. Even if you're one of the haters, you're still watching the video. Anyways, Romeo's being a goofball. Romeo is not my dog, but my dog. Romeo is actually my aunt and uncle's dog, and this is their house. However, I'm staying in it for the time being for reasons unsaid. So we'll get to that later when we talk about our goals. But yeah, I'm living in Maryland, living my best life. I'm originally from Indiana. I am a Army veteran. I was in for 3 years, so not really a veteran. I'm prior service, basically. Was never deployed. I was always in a TRADOC unit. I was stationed down in Fort Benning, Georgia, which is now known as Fort Moore. I was a religious affairs specialist, so I also didn't do much of anything. I loved it. Would not go back. If you ask me, I would go back for certain reasons, but not the job itself. I'd go back if I could go warrant officer or even like go to college and go officer, but I would not go back as a religious affairs specialist. Nothing against it. I just did not have a good experience with chain of command and everything. So I could actually sit down and talk about that some other time, but today is not about that. Today, just a little mini introduction that's going to be pretty long because I have a lot of notes to hit. So I'm living in Maryland. I work 2 jobs right now, both front desk. One is at an iPlace and another is at a gym. I love both places. The iPlace is definitely not a dream job, but it pays the bills, and that is all I need right now. I'm 23 years old. I never said that. I'm 23 years old, living alone. I've been in Maryland since basically August. I got here at the end of July, but then I went down to Georgia for a little bit to visit friends and, well, not family, but basically family, because Carrie Ann is my sister from another mister. Just kidding, but I'm not kidding, but still. So I visited friends down there, and yeah, that's a little mini intro. Oh, the gym job. I work, the iPlace is my full-time job and the gym is my part-time job. I am training right now, hopefully for a bodybuilding competition. If it doesn't go that way, it doesn't go that way, but that's the goal. I want to do figure. I might do wellness. You know, we're seeing how my body grows right now. I'd rather not do bikini. Really want to do figure is my goal because I want nice jacked arms. But yeah, I'm really into fitness, obviously. Like I said, I have a podcast. It is fitness and, well, mostly faith-based. I do have a little like some motivation topics in there, but it's mainly faith. Instagram is obviously fitness. I do have some faith. I do have some devotionals, and I have a TikTok, except it's mostly just for fun, except I do these like Monday encouragement videos I started 2 weeks ago, so I've only done 2. But they're just fun, get you a little encouragement. I will not have that linked below, but I will have Instagram and my podcast linked in the description notes below. I just not big on TikTok. It's kind of a goofy thing for me, just a little fun here and there. So I'm more serious about Instagram is what I'm most serious about. YouTube, not super consistent. I'm trying to be more consistent, which is why I'm sitting here doing this, because I did not do any of it for the rest of the week. And it is Friday, and I try to post on Thursdays, but I'm guessing I'm gonna post on Saturdays every week. Every other week is podcast or YouTube. So YouTube is first and third week, and podcast is second and fourth week of the month. If there's a fifth week, we'll figure that out then. Do a little bonus episode or bonus YouTube video. We'll see. But yeah. So what's next? Why did I start YouTube? My dream has always been to be famous, and I know I'm nowhere close to being famous. I realized recently that it's not famous I want, it's to be influential is what I want. And even if I have 1 subscriber, if I'm making an impact in their life, a positive impact in their life, then that is enough for me. God will take my videos, God will take my podcast, and He will take my posts to whoever they need to go to. And whether that's 1 person or 1 million people, that's up to Him. That is not up to me. I'm just going with the flow, doing whatever comes to my heart, and I'm just praying that it's the right thing to do. Same with my podcast and Instagram. Instagram is really an accountability thing. I started it, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, before I joined the military. I think I was after I started talking to a recruiter, is when I started posting on it, because I needed to gain weight to join the military, because I was a skinny, teeny tiny baby in high school. And like underweight, skinny, and maybe I'll post a transformation picture here or there on Instagram, so keep your eyes open for that. Or I guess you could scroll to the bottom to like my very first post and be like, this girl's crazy. Like I started at like 118 was what I started, and like right now I believe I weighed in this morning at 160. So that is a huge change, but then again, it's been like 5-6 years, and I was 18 then, and I'm 23 now, so do the math. I'm not going to, because that was like 5 years ago, yeah. So 5 years ago when I started. I don't know if you can see this, but Mr. Romeo is trying to get on the chairs here. Hi, baby. He's mad at me because you're in the way. But yeah, podcast, I love talking, and I love I don't know how to word this. I love talking, basically, and I always send my friends vlogs and everything, and I love how words have such meaning to them. And if you say them right, and if you say them with the right tone, then they can make such a beautiful impact on people. And that is my goal with my podcast, is to just make a beautiful impact, and change people's lives for the better, bring them to God, let them know that they're loved and that they don't have anything to worry about except for how much they love. Yeah, I am going to apologize right now for all the times I'm saying and like and because that is just who I am. If you listen to my podcast, then you know. This is very unscripted, and my podcasts are scripted, so there's quite a difference there. But yeah, what is my goal through this? Okay, so that could go 2 ways. My goal through this video is just to like let you know who I am, introduce myself a little bit. Yeah, that's about it. My goal through my content creation, do not bark. You are barking at nothing right now, so do not bark, okay? My goal through content creation is, like I said, is to just be a voice of motivation, a voice of guidance towards God and towards being your best self. And just being supportive and loving, because not everybody has that, and I would love to be that for some people. Yeah. So what do I do? My career, hobbies, whatever. I already told you what I do for my job. I am studying right now to be a certified personal trainer, and then the next goal will be to be a certified nutrition coach, which I know that's a very controversial topic, and I am going to stick to the parameters of my job. I'm not going to give out meal plans or anything because that's not my job. Now, if you go to a certified dietetics nutritionist and they give you a macro breakdown of calories you need, that I can help with food ideas and guidance there, and be kind of like a voice of wisdom kind of thing, but I can't give you those macro breakdown, those calories, because I am not a certified or a licensed nutritionist or dietitian. So maybe one day I will be, maybe I won't, you know, seeing where life takes me right now. Obviously, I've talked about my hobbies, very into fitness. I do art sometimes. I create. I have a few paintings I do here and there. My favorite is oil pastels or charcoal, but I have not done those in so long, just because they're so time consuming and I just don't have the time. So maybe, hopefully I'll get to those soon. I love cooking, so it's great that I'm a bodybuilder, because there's a lot of meal planning that goes into that, and while I don't make my own meals, I have one of my coaches do that for me. I have, the coaches I have are a couple, super cute, super sweet, but one does the fitness and one does the nutrition, and I get told what to eat and I just make it myself, but they let me like mix it around a little bit, and that's fun, as long as I'm getting in the food about that I need. I'm so sorry, it is like 7 o'clock at night, and let me tell ya, that's about my bedtime. So it says random, so what do? I am watching The Big Bang Theory right now. The book I'm reading is The 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. It's really good. I'm reading it really slow just because it's a hard to like, you know, read here and there. Like, it's very much a sit down and read kind of book, and I just don't have the time of day to sit down and read, so it's hard to read it. But when I do read it, I love it. I should have done this earlier in the day, goodness gracious. Yeah, so 2024 visions, goals, and plans. So obviously I said that I want to do a bodybuilding show. I would prefer it to be figure, but if it's wellness, I'm not going to be upset. I do not want to do physique, and I really don't want to do bikini, but then again, that's how my body grows and what my coaches see as the best for me. I want to take this content creation to another level. I want to be more consistent with it. I want to have like a little niche. I feel like last year my posts were a little everywhere, but this year I really want to dive deep and focus on growth and strength, which is my word of the year. I'll get to that next, but growth and strength and faith, and just bringing it all together into like who I am, you know. Some goals by the end of the year. My goals are to have done a show. Obviously, I want to be moved. I don't know if I want to be moved to an apartment or like moved out of Maryland. I'm really just going where God wants to take me right now, and that's kind of how I've always been, you know, just going with the flow. But I really love moving and meeting new people. Although I made some great friends here, and I don't want to leave them, but I never wanted to leave my other friends either. So I kind of just want to move around and see where I belong, you know. So that goes with some plans, which is just to travel more. I really want to travel. I'm working on saving up to get my passport, so I can go a few places. I want to go to Costa Rica. I have some family down there. I really want to go to Italy. It has always been my dream to go to Italy and Greece. Those two places, always been a dream of mine to go. So which of course if I do go, you'll be getting specials on that. So let's hope I can. I really want to just travel. I want to go to Disney World again this year. I'm a Disney adult all the way. I'm just a little nerd. I mostly just want to go to Star Wars land, because I am a Star Wars nerd. Yeah, those are some plans. Obviously, I want to save up a lot of money. I have a lease on my truck that my lease ends this year, so I want to be able to buy that out and refinance it, which could take me back on a few of my goals, but also depending on what I can get for what interest rate I get on it, it could be like cheaper than what I'm paying now. Hopefully similar or cheaper. I don't want to go up because it's already $500. I also am looking into going to college, which wouldn't necessarily make me lose any money because the military, or I guess the DoD, would pay for it. And then they pay me on top of it, which could be really good financially for me. But it also just depends, like, am I going anywhere? Am I staying here? Like, that's just something I need to look into. So what's next? Faith. I am Christian. I have been Christian my entire life. I've been non-denominational my entire life. I'm really just, the denomination you're in isn't a huge deal to me. It's, everybody has a different walk with God, as long as we're all going to the same place. The Bible says what the Bible says, and although it should all be interpreted the same way, because it's saying the exact same thing. Everybody sees things from a different life view. So your denomination doesn't make you more or less than one person. Faith-wise, I've been a devout Christian, I'd say, since 2021 is when I hit my lowest, and that's when I decided I needed to take that next step with God. I was actually baptized, I think it was 2013 or 2014. It was the summer before 8th grade. I went on a missions trip to Chicago and realized how different you could make people's lives, just by your servitude, just by serving them and loving them. And that's when I was like, I want to be that. I want to love God. And obviously, like I said, 2021 was when I fully gave my life to God. So there's some ups and downs, and it's still not perfect. It'll never be perfect because I am human, and God is God. Excuse me. And why the goal is to reach Him and to be God, like be a godly woman. I still accept that I'm human. I still accept that I make mistakes, and though I don't get off for my mistakes, I will make them because I am human. And as long as I repent and change my ways towards God and just give it all to God, then in the end, I pray that it'll be okay. What is important to me and why? Obviously my faith. Oh, I forgot to talk about strength though. So the last 2 years, not including this year, so the last 2 years, I got a word of the year. The first one was growth, and that was definitely a very challenging year for me. It was when I got out of the military. I had to move back home, had my first experience with finding a job, which was not a fun experience. It was so stressful. So there was a lot of growth in there, maturity wise. 2023, my word of the year was prayer. And while I wasn't perfect in prayer, I really learned the different ways of prayer, from journaling to just talking in my car on the way to or from work, and then all the way down to like the can't even get words out because you're crying so hard prayer, which was a huge thing for me, it definitely took my next step in life. Showed me a lot that I was trying to hide from my view, personal wise. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, that's another part of my faith. So like that's why I chose strength, because I realized none of this is making me weaker. It's all, while I feel weak in the moment, it's only going to make me stronger. And when I say strength, I don't mean like physically wise, but yes, physically wise. Like I want to be stronger in every aspect. I want to be stronger in my faith, in my fitness, in my mental health. Like I just want to be a stronger person all around, and not the I'm pretending to be strong so other people don't have to be, but be actually strong. So yeah, that's the goal. So what is important to me, and what important to me is my friends and my family. I'm really big on relationships. I'm very big on loving. I am a big lover, and I love hard. And if you know me, you know that, because I'm not afraid to be like, I love you, but I'm also not afraid to be like, you're being dumb. Sometimes I am. It depends on the situation. But I just want everybody to feel loved and be happy. And I want to be loved, and I want to feel happy. And I feel like for me, giving that love to people, whether they truly deserve it or not, makes me feel loved, because it makes me feel like I'm doing something right, because not everybody gets to feel that all the time. And I know, because I've been there, I've been to that, I don't think I'm feeling loved, I don't have a good relationship with this person, I don't have a good experience doing that, and I don't want other people to go through that. So this is a talk for another time, but I just want everybody to feel loved, and that's why I feel like I've been told I have a really big heart, and it's hard for me to push people away because of that, which does end up hurting me in the long run, but it also makes me stronger, because like I've been really big on boundaries lately. So like I know my boundaries, I know what yes is, I know what no is, I know my limits, I know my boundaries. I don't know what else to say to that, but I've learned a lot, especially this past year. So yeah. So living single and alone. I am single. I do live alone. That's that. No, I don't feel single, just because I have such a big, a great community, a great faith-based community. I have a lot of friends who are very Christian, so who I can go to when I need something. And then also I have friends that like believe in God, but they're not super strong on it, or they're not as open about it as I am. So it's nice to be like in the middle, where like I have people who lead me, and I have people who I can lead. And yeah, it feels, I don't know, it feels nice to be able to lead people and just be a good example, but it also feels nice to take down my walls and allow others to lead me for a change, which is just really one of the big things for me. Is that's why I don't feel single, because I don't feel alone. I don't feel like I'm doing this on my own. I don't feel like I have to do everything on my own. I went bowling with friends the other day. I went to brunch with a friend this past weekend. So it's not like I'm lonely, which is why I don't feel single, which is why I'm okay being single, if that makes sense. Like I don't need to be in a relationship. I would like to be. I would love to be, because I would love to have one person to just devote all my love and time into. But if that's not in God's plan for me, then it's not, and I'm totally okay with that, because I want what's in God's plan for me and not what's in my plan. So yeah. My loves, likes, and dislikes. So I talked about my love friends and family, but I really love fitness. I love most of the fitness community. I love, I don't know what else. I love reading. I love art. My likes, I like watching Netflix. I like work. I like making money. I like being able to financially, take care of myself, because I've not been always able to do that, and I've not always been in a familiar situation where that's been available to me. So being able to take care of myself financially and abundantly with that, that is a huge step for me. And while it's hard to maintain my finances 24/7, I've gotten really good at it, so that I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, and I love that for me. I love the experience of being responsible for myself, and yeah. My dislikes would have to be this weather. It's like 10 to 12 inches of snow out right now. It's disgusting. I moved away from Indiana for a reason. I don't know why this weather followed me here, but I guess it did. My dislikes are editing YouTube videos and editing podcasts and trying to figure out what to post on content, because that's really difficult, especially because content creation is a full-time job. There's a lot of people like influencers don't do a lot, but you do. There's a lot of thought that goes into this, because you have to get the timing right, you have to get the topics right, you have to get your niche right. It's a lot of time and effort put into this, and it's very draining to be able to put stuff out all the time, which is why at the end of the year, each year, I take a step back and just give all social media and all content creation a break, kind of reset my mind, readjust my goals for the year, and yeah. Habits that I want to create. So I'm really big on habits. If you've listened to any of my podcasts, you know that Atomic Habits by James Clear is one of my favorite books. I love creating new habits, and I love the way you can create habits and not change your lifestyle for them. So some of the habits I've been trying to create, which is really hard with this weather because I don't like driving out in this weather before the roads have been dealt with. But I am... So you went off on me. But habits I want to create, James Clear is Atomic Habits is one of my favorite books. Yeah, I feel like I meant to say this, but I don't think I did. We're going all natural today, no makeup. We didn't have work today, and so that's why we're doing this. But yeah, habits I want to create. I've started lately. It's been hard because of the weather, just because I don't want to be out and on the roads before they've been dealt with. But morning workouts have been a huge game changer for me. They get me more ready for the day, and I'm able to actually like be motivated to go through it, even though I'm not on pre-workout yet. I've ordered pre-workout and I'm just waiting for it to come in. So I ordered it actually a while ago, but like for some reason they lost my order and they had to reorder it, and it's still been a week since then, so it's great, it's fine, it's whatever. But my friend is giving me her pre-workout because she doesn't use it anymore, so that's great. I love it. And also I work in a gym which we sell pre-workout scoops, so yeah, I don't have any excuses, but I just like the feeling of not my pre-workout hitting halfway through my workout, you know? I'd rather it hit before my workout. But other habits are I need to start getting to bed earlier, which I have been. I feel like the latest I get to bed is like 9:30. But I try to get to bed before, oh my goodness. I try to get to bed before 8:30. Which like I start getting ready for bed and everything, but by the time I get in bed it's been like an hour. So it just, you know, depends on what's going on, and anyways, basically just depends on how much I have to do is how early I get to bed. But those are like two big habits I'm trying to create. Definitely drinking enough water, which I have not done today. Apologies out to my coach. I'm sorry. Romeo just started licking himself, so you're probably gonna hear that in the background, and I also apologize for that. book I'm reading. I already talked about that. It's the 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. I am on rule 4. I actually really like the book so far, but like I said, it's a sit down and read book and not just a read from here to there book. And I don't have a lot of time for that, so yeah. So these two are specifically asked for. The first one was discipline. So I don't know what they meant by discipline. I asked what topics I should talk about, and they just said discipline. So I have faith, fitness, and everyday life. So by faith, one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is to set a specific time of day or a certain amount of time per day where you're giving all of your attention into faith. For me, it is not first thing in the morning, but I wake up, get myself ready, come downstairs, let my dog out because I get up so early. I don't feed him right away. Let my dog out, and in that time, either before or after I let him back in, that's when I do my Bible time of the day and my little prayer. And all the time I listen to worship music while working out. So worship is a huge thing for me. It is most of the music that I listen to on my way to and from the gym. I listen to podcasts. Most of them are faith-based. A lot of them are just like lifestyle-based, but mostly focused on faith. So just making the small... Okay, so you overheated earlier, so hopefully I can finish it now. And I left off talking about discipline and faith, and I think what I was talking about was basically just I don't need that to be a distraction. Basically just having a specific time of day or a specific amount of time that you are required per day, per your own goals, whatever it is, to have with faith. And that's pretty much with fitness and everyday life in general, but especially with faith. Like, my goal is, I don't have a specific time limit, but I have a specific every morning before I work out, before I work, basically before I really start getting ready for my day, I need to spend that time with God, and that's what I do. Right now I'm reading through Proverbs, and I started on the 1st, so like today was Proverbs 19. I got that done because it's January 19th. But basically I do that, and then I have these little they're like see-through sticky notes, and I have a little prayer board, and I write on my prayers. I either put the prayer for that reading today, if it was specifically for that reading, or if it was just a prayer on my mind, I will put it on my prayer board. So that's part of discipline with faith, is just having a set time, having a set goal per day, and sticking to it whether you feel like it or not. Today I did it kind of later in the day. It was kind of crazy this morning. I woke up, I didn't feel like driving to the gym this morning just because a lot of snow had hit us last night, and I knew the roads were not going to have been what is that called? Shoveled or salted at 4 a.m. So I knew that wasn't going to happen, and I didn't want to risk anything. So I decided to go back to sleep. Woke up around 6-ish. As soon as I woke up, I got a text saying, hey, we're not opening until 10 today from work just because of weather, and we don't have any patients until then. So dealt with that, got ready for the day, then got texted, hey, actually we're closing today. So I didn't get my Bible time until later just because I was going back and forth and doing stuff, and getting stuff I need to get done, like making breakfast, making lunch for the day, basically just getting myself ready. Discipline with fitness, a big thing for me is the morning workouts, because if I wait till after work, I'm not as motivated to get my workout done, or that's where when all my friends are there, so I'm really distracted. There's more things going on, more people to see, more people talking to me, just because I work at the gym, so I know a lot of people. And I'm not saying everybody's like, oh my gosh, Carly's at the gym, gotta talk to her. But sometimes there's days where it does feel like that. Either people are just in a chatty mood, or there's just a lot of people I know at the gym at once. A lot of people I talk to the gym all at once, so it gets really distracting. And if I get it done in the morning, it's done with. I'm through with it. I got it done. I got my workout for the day. Got my protein shake in for the day. You know, I hit a lot of goals first thing in the morning. And like when I get home from work, then I have more time to hang out with my dog. I have more time to study, more time to read, more time to relax. So that's one of the things that keeps me not motivated, but I have discipline with, just because it's done and out of the way and I don't have to worry about it. And that's like my mindset, like I have to get it done today, so might as well get it done first thing and not worry about it later on. And just everyday life, having discipline. I have the strongest sweet tooth without having a big sweet tooth. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I love sweets, but I don't like sugary sweets. I like more savory sweets, if that makes sense. I could pass on candy, I could pass on frosting, but like novelties, I don't know if that's what I want to use. Ice cream I love, breakfast dessert thingies I love. So that's really hard to get in the mindset of, hey, I can't have that right now. But I have a lot of fruit, I'm eating a lot of food. So I'm able to keep my mind off of that. And it was harder during the holidays because there were cookies here, there were candy. I had a little hot cocoa bar set up for my cousins when they came home, which was super fun. So that was hard. So like, I stayed on track best I could. Obviously I had some sweets because I'm not going to deprive myself of holiday goodness, right? But it's hard to not do that. And I think one of the biggest things with discipline is when I grocery shop, whether I go out and grocery shop or I Instacart, because I've been really into Instacarting because it saves me a lot of time, because I like roaming through the aisles. If I do that, I try not to do it on an empty stomach or when I'm hungry, just because I will then be more likely to get those sweets and get those things that I'm craving, whether it's a sweet or whether it's like chips or just stuff that's not on my meal plan. So I really have to be strict with following what's on my meal plan and following that with like, now I'm not saying it's like bad food, like I love the food on my meal plan, it's so good, and I can use different seasonings to kind of make it my own and mix stuff around. Like she had pico de gallo for my dinner, but I put it on my lunch because my lunch was more like a taco kind of thing. It was like stuffed pita bread basically with chicken and avocado, and like putting the pico de gallo on that, it just kind of like brought the flavors together. So I can like switch things in and out, not in and out, but like around throughout the day when I have it. Oh, I'm so sorry, it's 9 o'clock at night now. I had to wait for my computer to stop overheating. My camera to stop overheating because you overheated a little bit. But yeah, just so it's great food, but I really have to keep in mind, keep like a focused mind and not be hungry when I grocery shop. And then with things like spending time on my phone or TV, I really have to be mindful. I'm getting better at TV time and on my phone just because I've been so busy with work. But I still do it. I'm still on my phone, I'm still watching TV. That's one thing I really need to focus on with discipline. And I want you guys to know that discipline is like a journey. So it's not a linear journey. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to learn discipline for whatever your habits or hobbies are. Oh, so sorry. So it's not like, oh, I'm just starting this. Like, I've never been to the gym before. I'm decided I'm gonna go gym. I'm gonna be motivated. I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna do it all year, every single day. Oh my goodness. There's no one out there, buddy. I don't know what he's seeing right now. There's nothing out there. For 366 days, because it's a leap year, so 366 days. Hi, buddy. It's not gonna happen because you're just starting out, so you're not gonna have that discipline. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna happen. There are gonna be days because it's not in your habit, because you don't have a habit of it, because it's not in your like everyday lifestyle already. You're not gonna have the discipline to do it every day unless you are freaking what's his face, David Goggins, you know, like unless you're him, you're not gonna have the discipline to do that every day, and that's fine. Just like every other aspect of life, it is a journey. It is not linear, and it's a learning curve. It is definitely a learning curve. Discipline in I'm gonna say discipline in fitness is one of the biggest things I hear about, so I'm going to talk about that on Focus right now. Disciplining your nutrition, I've heard that's one of the hardest things. It's been one of the hardest things for me. Right now I'm getting better at it because I'm given a meal plan, and I'm by no means perfect at it. I will not say that I follow it to the T every single week, because I don't. I'm not perfect. I am learning discipline in that aspect. But fitness wise, I love going to the gym, and honestly with this new training plan, with since I hired these coaches, I have dreaded rest days because I love working out, and I always have, but I've always loved my rest days. But right now I'm just like, I don't want to rest. I want to keep lifting. I want to keep focusing on my goal, and that's something that I have to have discipline on, because working in a gym especially, it's easy to get in that mindset of I need to work every single day all the time to reach these goals, and that's just not a sustainable or attainable. Like, you can't reach goals without giving yourself rest. So yeah, discipline is learning your limits, but it's also making habits, and creating a schedule is a really good thing on discipline. Like I said, morning workouts for me work perfectly fine. Sometimes people have to get up early for work, so evening, afternoons, like right after work, used to work best at my last full-time job. I was at work at 5 or 6 in the morning, so going to the gym right after work was the best case scenario for me, because I didn't go home then. I went straight to the gym. I worked out and then I went home, so I got all that done. And sometimes it's just different for whatever your personality type is, whatever your situation is, whatever your work schedule is, and whatever your goals are. Maybe your goal isn't to work out every single day. Maybe your goal is to work out twice a week, and that is perfectly fine. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not okay, because everybody starts somewhere, and they're lying to you if they say they started working out 7 days a week, 2 hours every single day, and that's how they got to where they are, because nobody starts that way. And if you do, you burn out real quick, especially if you're not used to it. So whatever you start with, have that be your goal. Stick to that habit, make it a habit, and get to that point where it is more discipline than motivation, because after 2 or 3 weeks you lost all motivation for it. So hopefully by then, those 3 weeks, those 21 days, you have it down as a habit. But yeah, so the last talking point I have here is how to run to God without looking at past hurts. I don't know if that was past hurts, or I just said looking at the past. She worded it differently. And that's a really hard one for me, because that is something I've also struggled with, especially this past year. I was in my relationship kind of went sideways really quick, and it was really hard to see the difference between what God was telling me and what the enemy was telling me. And the enemy was telling me to stay in the relationship, and God was being like, girl, you need to get out of this. And it was more of a awakening and seeing I have no other option but to run to God, rather than this is what I choose to do. So I don't want to say this is how it needs to be, because it's not. I don't think it's one specific answer for this, but I decided I do want to talk about this, and I will go more in depth on a podcast sometime about this. That'll probably be one of the things I talk to, is about past hurts and pain and just change, and how to seek God through it all instead of focusing on the past. And if you're listening to this and you're the one who asked this, I want you to know that it's not the easiest thing, that it is not like any other thing I've said. It's not linear. It's not gonna happen overnight. You're gonna struggle, you're gonna question things, you're gonna have what the heck? You're gonna have doubts. There's gonna be times when you're questioning if it's from God or if it's from the enemy or if it's just yourself making it up. But let's talk about a specific topic with this. I feel like I need to be able to hit this. So let's say you were in a past relationship, which I think is what this girl's talking about, but I'm not sure. You're in a past relationship that was what you were comfortable with, and that's kind of one of the things that people look back on, that people keep going to the past with, is not necessarily because it was a good situation, but because it was a comfortable situation. It's what you knew, it's what you were used to, so therefore that's why you stayed in the relationship, or that's why you want to keep going back, or that's why you keep wanting to think of it. And the best advice I could give you is if it does come to that point where you're thinking about that, or you're leaning towards going back just because it's what you're comfortable with, understand that God, He doesn't necessarily want you comfortable. Because if He wanted you comfortable, He wouldn't be challenging us. He wouldn't have put you in that situation of the whether it was the hurt or the pain or the breakup or whatever it was. He wouldn't have put you in that situation in the first place if He wanted you comfortable. He wanted you to grow. He wanted you to focus on Him and not that relationship or that friendship or that situation. So how to run to God without looking back? I feel like I'm no expert on this, so I can't give my best answer without doing some research. But without doing some research, I feel like the best advice from experience that I can give you is surround yourself with people that are moving forward. If you have friends, or you're in a youth group, or you go to church a lot, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're like me. This past year I was really finding myself. I didn't have a church to go to. I didn't really have that like tight-knit group of Christian friends. I have Christian friends, and they're like I'm close with them, but I didn't have that tight-knit group in person to go to, which can be really hard. But find that group, find that situation, that area that you feel comfortable in. And like I said, God doesn't want you comfortable, but God wants you, He does want you comfortable per se, just He didn't want you comfortable in that situation, and that's why He took you out of it. If you're staying in a situation that's healthy for you and that you can see growth and feel God in, then it's a good situation. If God took you out of it, or you don't feel God in that situation, God doesn't want you in it. So how to run to God without looking at the past is, like I said, put yourself in a situation where you don't have an option to look back. You don't have an option to worry about the past because you're moving forward. Like this girl, I see her doing great things. She is so amazing with her small businesses and her music, and she's doing wonderful, and I see her growth even though we don't talk. I see her growth, and I see the way she's moving. I see the way God's moving in her life. And so if you are listening to this, I want to let you know that you have put yourself in a situation where you have no option but to move forward. And even though you'll have those lows, you'll have those dips where you're like, but what about that? But what about what happened in the past? Or maybe I should stop doing this because it's gotten so hard, it's gotten so difficult, it's taking up so much of my time. Maybe I should just take a step back. Which is okay to take a step back, but it's not to take a step back, if that makes sense. Like, you can take a step back, breathe, focus on God for a bit and not everything else, but it's also not okay to take a step back and go back to who you used to be, or where you used to be, or who you used to be with, you know, that sort of thing. So put yourself in a situation where you can't go back, where you can't go back to that situation or relationship. I feel like I keep repeating this, but it's all I can think of. Like, put yourself in that situation. Put yourself in that environment. Put yourself around those people that only want the best for you, that only see the future with you, that don't worry about the past, because you'll always think about the past. You'll always feel hurt. You'll always feel pain about the past. But the best thing to do for you also, other than move forward, is to forgive. Whether it's forgiving yourself, whether it's forgiving other people. And I'm not saying you have to forgive them to their face, because that sometimes can lead to more toxicity in relationships, if you're still in the relationship, or it can lead to back to the toxicity it was, or even more toxicity than it was. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm using it. So forgive them in your heart. Forgive them to God. Forgive yourself to God for going through it, for allowing yourself to stay in that situation, knowing God was trying to lead you out of it. Or if it was something you regret doing, apologize to yourself. Ask God for forgiveness and apologize. Forgive yourself for how you acted, or what you said, or the way you treated someone. Whatever the case is, there's always forgiveness, and forgiveness is the first step to moving forward. Because if you don't forgive, you're still hanging on. And the only person that's hurting you more is yourself, is not forgiveness. Let me rephrase that. The only thing that's hurting you... Hold on. Let me think about this for a second. The only one that's hurting from your lack of forgiveness is yourself. So if you don't forgive them, they won't care. If there's a reason you won't forgive them, now if it's like they're trying to rebuild that relationship with you and get better, then yeah, they will care. But if it's a truly toxic relationship, if it's, whether it was a narcissistic relationship or an abusive relationship, or they just didn't care about you, or you know, whatever it was, they don't care that you're not forgiving them. But it's only hurting yourself to hold on to that grudge, because you're keeping yourself in that relationship, because you're not letting it go fully. Whether you're like, yeah, I don't care about that anymore, but you didn't forgive them, you didn't forgive yourself, honey, you're still in the relationship. You're still you're still tied up to that person, even if it's not like physical day-to-day kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's the best way to run to God, is to put yourself in a situation where you have to, and also forgiveness is definitely key to moving forward and moving past. Which will also be a podcast episode that I'm working on, so yeah. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about me, a little sit and chat time. I really hope this works out. I really hope this video goes well, that you can hear everything, and I'm really sorry about my dog freaking out a few minutes ago. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I love you so much. You are the best. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. And like and subscribe if you do like it. Yeah. So subscribe for more videos like this. Also, go check out my podcast and my Instagram. My podcast is really faith-based. Have conversations like we just had about how running to God without going to the past, and faith, and just growth in this journey of life for all of us. Hopefully planning to get a few guests on this year. I haven't really dove deep into that, but hoping for it. And my Instagram is all about my fitness journey and just growth that way. And I do talk a lot about God, and I do talk a lot about faith, and post a lot about faith in that as well. So if you just want to be surrounded by faith and love and motivation, go hit on my Instagram, go listen to my podcast, and thank you so much for watching today, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Love you guys. Bye.